She didn't know I started it.
I did. I drink every time I start one of my live streams. To the point where I had someone say, you need to please stop drinking coffee every time you do your live stream. And I thought, why? That's part of who I am and what I do.
It's plastic from the bottle.
This is what he does. He takes plastic off bottles because our dogs eat the bottles, and if we leave the plastic on, then they eat the plastic. So today we took a 3.69 mile bike ride. You'll have to be watching for the video. Jimmy got a GoPro and had the dogs videoing as they were in their little cart, because Jimmy rides his bike and he pulls the little cart with the dogs in it. They were so cute.
Yep, Obi was quite excited.
It's so cute. You know that when she's in Finding Nemo and she just like that, she's so excited. Yeah, that's how I just love it. They're all just so cute. Jimmy and the dogs, they're all just adorable. Like a cute puppy.
I'm not cute.
Pretty adorable, babe.
Pretty handsome.
You're pretty adorable.
Pretty handsome man.
So we did our bike ride. I did some more painting for my nativity sets. And Jimmy did some training on his thing. Hi, whoever's watching.
Training, and I started to play Red Dead, and I got really sleepy. So
Red Dead is a video game. Jimmy is a video gamer.
Not really. Not anymore.
Jimmy is not really a video gamer anymore compared to the video gaming he used to do, but compared to most men his age, he is quite the video gamer.
His age?
Most men in your sphere of influence?
My age. So, I went to play video games, and I looked through my window, and who
did
do
you
I see? Friend Chastity, holding scissors, just for me.
What? When?
Yeah, this morning when I sat down and I was just like, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to play some games. You came walking in, and you're like, it's time to trim my ends.
Dude, it was like trying to trim my ends last week. Like last Wednesday, I said, I need my ends cut. I need my ends cut.
You did. I told you I would cut your ends.
Well,
and then
what
you were
is
like,
the problem?
you were like, it's not time yet. So then I decided to do something, and it's time.
Because it threw off your whole day spending 3 minutes cutting my ends on my hair.
Well,
you know, I could just shave it off. Just go bald.
When you're starting to get into a groove, I'm just saying.
Okay, well, I apologize.
I'm just saying.
I apologize for throwing off your gaming groove. Anyway, we're going to be on Abigail today.
I do nails. I cut ends.
He cooks.
I cooked.
He cleans.
Made the bomb. It was
amazing.
Bomb digging.
Chow mein was amazing the other day.
Chow mein.
And tonight's chicken tortilla soup was absolutely amazing.
Never tried it before. I was gonna make chicken tacos. She said, "Oh, are you making chicken tortilla soup?" So I just flipped that recipe, and man, oh man, noses were running.
It was so yummy.
My lips were on fire for 30 minutes.
And so then after we finished dinner, I looked at the clock and I was like, hey, want to go for a walk? And this is the face I get. Sure. And I'm like, hey, you know, I'm just,
say it.
wanting to look out for you because you're the one that was making comments on your own weight. So I was just looking out for you. Anyway, we're going to be on Abigail tonight, and the title of our message is The Wicked Fool. Lord, thank you for Jimmy, and thank you for all that you've done for us in this time that we've been together. And I just pray that you would bless this time tonight, and I pray that you would help us to understand your word better and just enjoy sharing it with those that'll hear. And I just pray that you would bless this time in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. I left it open that you could pray at the end, but you capped it.
Well, no, because I was gonna. So I cut the ends today. I made dinner today. Are we
still on this? Okay.
But the other thing I did today, because she said, you know, I try to stay active all day so I don't get sleepy, was we have kind of a smart home. So I can come in and I can tell smart speaker.
Play easy listening smooth jazz playlist.
Anyways, I can tell smart speaker to turn on the light in the kitchen, turn off the light in the kitchen, turn on the TV, turn off the TV, turn on the lights in the living room, turn off the lights.
And in a perfect universe, all these things would actually do what he says. But
and they did.
But
no,
in an imperfect universe.
Wait, they did. Okay, so I spent all this time, the first time I set up the living room, I set up the kitchen, and I set up our bedroom. So today we added one to the hallway and to the bathroom. Well, it's like one of those things where you go to fix it and then it stops working.
Just one too many gadgets. And now the whole gadget world is thrown off.
Today you're going to learn about someone who saw that it was not going to work out and went to fix it, and she fixed it.
Oh, so you're... Oh, I see. You had a reference point.
Kinda.
Sorry, I missed your... I didn't know that was your reference.
Anyways, pray for me and my smart speaker that we could get on the same page, because right now...
Everybody is in rebellion. She says, okay, and then does nothing. It's like a teenager. Yeah. He says, turn on the light in the bedroom, and she says, okay, and then nothing. It's like,
no,
great, thanks.
It's all about the living room.
Anyway,
moving forward.
We are in 1 Samuel 25. We're going to talk about Nabal starting out here. Nabal, 1 Samuel 25. Did you want to start? Let me start.
What'd you call it?
I called it the wicked fool. Wicked fool. So Samuel died. I know it's tragic.
Yeah, we're gonna start out with that.
Samuel was done, and he was pretty much done with Saul, and he'd lived a long life. Like, we started out with Samuel, remember? And she had prayed for him, and then she dedicated him back to the church, and Eli had wicked sons, and he was raised by Eli. So Samuel had a long life. Everybody is mourning for him. They buried him, and David moved down into the desert of Paran. So now, here we go. He's out of the picture.
It's in the wilderness.
He's in the wilderness, yeah, because remember, Saul went back to Judah, and David went to his stronghold, because even though he took an oath that he said he wasn't going to hurt Saul, he wasn't about to go back with him, because Saul was not a man of his word. So, David was out in the wilderness, and the only way he could make a means to take care of himself and his men was by protecting other people's resources, and by being that protector out there, then the people who had their resources protected would supply him with a thank you stipend. You know, like food and shelter and blah, 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 blah. Well, it is the custom. This is what they do. It is not mentioned verbatim in here that this is what is set up, but that is the custom. That's why David did it. So, little bear's gonna start calling. So David goes and he does this for this guy named Nabal. Not Nabal. Nabal. Which means fool. Yeah, like Ichabod, who is meant lost glory or something. So obviously, Ichabod was the son.
I know who Ichabod is. I'm just wondering who would.
Because she died in the process.
Who would name their kid Nabal?
Someone that thought he was going to be a fool. I guess this fool's born now. Here, just name him fool. So, but he evidently had money. So he's there, and he has a wife named Abigail. And David approaches Nabal. He's done what he was supposed to do. He approaches him to get some kind of supplies from Nabal. Nabal says,
But Abigail, she was intelligent and beautiful.
But her husband was surly and mean in his dealings. He was a Calebite. Calebites are not that great. So, there you are. He approaches him to get some supplies and blah, 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 and he says, I don't think so. And David is hot.
Well, he didn't even say, I don't think so.
Says, who are you? Why should I? What are you going to do to me?
Who is David? With all these slaves running around loose.
Yeah. He's making light of who David is. Everybody in the whole country knows who David is, and this guy's acting like, who are you?
And in verse 10, Nabal answered David's servants, who is David? Who is this son of Jesse? Many servants are breaking away from their masters these days. Why should I take my bread, water, and the meat I have slaughtered for my shearers and give it to men coming from who knows where?
So, David has been running from someone trying to kill him. He hasn't sought vengeance on them. He hasn't killed them. And now this guy is like, in his face. And David is done. He couldn't kill Saul. He couldn't seek vengeance on Saul. So, pretty much, he's like, let's get the men together. We're slaughtering this guy. We're within our rights. And I don't even care. Because David couldn't kill Saul. So, David's going to kill Nabal. Because he's just done. And I totally get it. I'm totally understanding how David's feeling right now. Totally.
He said to his men, each of you strap on your sword. He yelled at him.
Because remember, he was telling him, no, we can't kill Saul. He's the man of God. Oh, no, we can't do this. We can't do that. Now he's like, we're going to battle. Strap up.
They said, let's go.
So they're ready to go. They're getting ready. They're ready to go out and slaughter this guy and his entire household. Because that's how it was.
200 men.
That's how it was back in the day. You didn't just kill the guy. He was going to kill the entire household.
All the men.
No, he would have killed everybody. He says it in there. He's going to kill everybody. Anyway, so she gets there and, well, the servants, her servants, Nabal's servants, tell Abigail, the wife, right? Because she didn't know what was going on. And then Abigail's in a flurry, right? She's grabbing food, and she's grabbing supplies, and she's grabbing horses, and she's running out to meet David because personally she doesn't want to die. She doesn't want to have her whole household die.
And she knows who David is.
Yes.
Obviously.
She's not stupid. Everybody knows who David is. She's smart. Yes. She's smart. Because she's smart, intelligent, and beautiful. So, aww, sweet. So our first key words were Samuel died. Our second key words were Nabal, being the folly guy. His name means folly. And she actually calls herself his servant. So in verse 25 it says, please pay no attention, my lord, to that wicked man Nabal. This is her husband. This is Abigail. He is just like his name. His name means fool. And folly goes with him. And as for me, your servant, I did not see the men my Lord sent. She's stuck in a marriage to a fool, because I'm pretty sure it was probably arranged.
Rich fool.
Yeah, rich fool. And she is calling herself David's servant, and she is seeking his forgiveness and hoping that he'll accept all that she's brought to him because she understands her husband's a fool.
And he was at the party. Don't forget that.
We are all at the party.
He was at the party because he was partying it up because they just did their harvesting.
Harvest party.
So it's a harvest party.
Harvest party. So
he was faded.
Yeah. Who? Nabal?
Yeah.
Yes. So David says, he goes and she says all this, and then she says, my Lord will not have on his conscience, in verse 31, the staggering burden of needless bloodshed or of having avenged himself, because he had all of this that he was trying. He didn't avenge himself on Saul, and he didn't want to have needless bloodshed on Saul, so she's trying to tell him, hey, you don't need needless bloodshed here. You don't need to avenge yourself on this fool. And when the Lord your God has brought my Lord success, remember your servant. It's not my fault my husband's a fool. So, because in verse 34 it says, David answers her and says, blessed be your judgment, blessed be all that you've done, because in 34 it says, otherwise, as surely as the Lord, the God of Israel lives, who has kept me from harming you, if you had not come quickly to meet me, not one male belonging to Nabal would have been left alive by daybreak. It would have meant her death too, because if he killed all the men, they would have all just been taken by somebody else. So she couldn't have been the head of her own household.
David said to Abigail, praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel, who has sent you to meet me. Praise God.
Praise God.
Because we were going to lay waste.
Yes. So, David takes everything that she offered. She goes back home to her fool husband, who's drunk, and doesn't say anything to him about what happened. Because she took a lot. She took a lot of meat, she took a lot of bread, she took a lot of supplies, she took all that stuff behind his back and gave it to David.
He didn't know. He was high in spirits and very drunk.
Yes. But in the morning, when he was sober, she told him all these things. And in verse 37, it says his heart failed him. He became like stone. And about 10 days later, so he just laid there like a stone for 10 days, the Lord struck Nabal and he died. Because that's what happens when you're a fool.
And when he heard he was dead, David said, praise be to the Lord, who has upheld my cause against Nabal for threatening me with contempt. He didn't have to get his hands dirty. He didn't have to do anything. The Lord took care of the fool.
And so he sent his servants to go tell Abigail, hey, let me take you as my wife. So she got quickly on a donkey in verse 42, attended by 5 female servants, went with David's messengers, and became his wife. So David had also married Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they both were his wives, Abigail and Ahinoam. He also had Michal, Saul's daughter, but she had been given to somebody else because, hey, he wasn't there. So
3 wives.
Jimmy wanted to touch on that.
3 wives. Well, I wanted to touch down before that when she got there, she bowed down on her face to the ground and said, yes. I am your servant. I am ready to serve you and wash the feet of my Lord's servants.
Yes. Isn't that crazy? She was not presumptuous. She was not, she was so humble. Just like David. She really was a kindred spirit to him, I think. So, our key verse was verse 33 that said, may you be blessed for your good judgment, for keeping me from bloodshed this day, and from avenging myself with my own hands. That's truly someone that's blessed. If you have someone in your life, or you are that someone that can use your good judgment and help someone make a good decision and help lead them on the right path, that's a blessing. And you don't know how far that blessing can travel, because she didn't know when she did this that she would eventually become David's wife. That was just her all in the natural, like
planting seeds.
Yes. Because of the seeds Nabal planted, he ended up dead. Sucks to be Nabal.
So at that point, at the end, David has how many wives?
By the end, he's had 3 wives. By the end of his life, he has 7 wives. Many, many children. Quite a few concubines. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody's got something.
It starts.
Let's not point fingers.
It starts.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's what led him astray. I'm
just saying. I'm not getting ahead.
He was still a man after God's own heart, but it definitely caused his attention to divide.
Starts.
Yes,
it just starts.
So, what stuck out to you?
Oh, now I'm going backwards because I was going forwards. What stuck out to you? Say you. Oh, I had it highlighted. that may be blessed for your good judgment and from keeping me from bloodshed this day, from avenging myself with my own hands. Because right there, David is saying, thank you from stopping me from acting out on my own feelings.
Right, because normally they would fight. He would fight. He had blood on his hands. That's why he couldn't build the temple, because he was a warrior. But when he would go into battle, it wasn't like he was
just killing,
avenging people. He was going out into battle with a purpose to take back lands, to do for his men or whatever. But this was different because he had anger and bitterness in his heart. It wasn't a warrior going out to battle. This was
a warrior just going to,
like a murderer,
going to shed blood, or
right,
to lay waste,
to avenge himself, because
on a family,
right,
on a house,
which is not what David stood for. So what my summary was of is that David pardoned Nabal's rejecting judgment for Abigail's good judgment, and Abigail definitely had good judgment. Abigail becomes David's wife when the Lord strikes Nabal dead, and your thought was better to seek forgiveness than to ask for permission. That's what you said.
Yes. Because sometimes you just need to go out there and do it. And then,
if it's not okay, then you're sorry.
Then you're sorry. And that's what she did. She said, I'm going to take this step of faith, and I'm going to do this
because it's right.
And quite frankly, I would like everybody to live.
Correct. She must have knew that she wasn't going to die at the hand of Nabal, though. Like, she must have knew that because if she feared Nabal, she wouldn't have did it. She knew she couldn't tell him when he was drunk, but I don't know. She just was wise all the way around. And she had to have been if she was married to a fool. Like, you have to make wise choices and decisions if your husband's not very intelligent, I would suppose. So,
When she asked for forgiveness, he locked up, though.
Turned to stone. That's what happens. If it was karma, it would get you right there. He got his comeuppance. So our homework is Saul take 2. We're going to be in 1 Samuel 26 tomorrow, and we're going to see what's going on with Saul that he's doing yet again. It is pretty significant that she's ready to be his servant and to serve and wash the feet of my Lord's servants. She's not even presuming that she'll be in any kind of position. She's just willing to serve David in any capacity she can. Again, that heart.
Which reminds you of
the Lord's heart and how he washed the disciples' feet.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy was trying to find, who was her kids and what did he do, and she had one kid. His name was Daniel. That's it. He didn't kill anybody. That's all we know. She was from Carmel. Not Carmel. Not Strawberry Carmel. Pistachio. It's Carmel. Carmel, not Carmel. Anyway, yeah. That's it. Just Daniel. She had Daniel. Because some of the other wives, they had the ones that had major issues that caused David major.
So he must not have been a bad kid.
No. He didn't become king. He didn't try to take over the kingdom. He didn't rape anybody or hurt anybody or cause a battle and I can't help but think it's because his mom was intelligent. And she raised him well and he made good choices, so if you're stuck in a situation, make wise choices.
Make wise choices. And maybe you'll get unstuck.
Not that I want anybody to lock up and turn to stone.
True.
But if it needs to happen.
It did make me smile, though.
You did chuckle.
So, tomorrow...
1 Samuel 26. Saul, take 2.
And that's going to be the picker.
The picker?
Picker.
Okay.
Picker is a goat head.
Oh, yes. Tell the
So a picker,
story.
Goat head.
With your dog.
What? That he got a picker in his foot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, little Obi got a picker in his foot. So I had to take the picker out. But I was thinking
How'd you know?
Because he was limping. He was limping. He was not stepping on his little... It was a huge picker. Be careful. They're big this year. But it reminded me of you walking around in your sandals. You would say, ow, I got a picker. And she pulled a picker out. She take another step and boom, got another picker.
When I was wearing those Dollar Tree sandals.
And sometimes...
I have Birkenstocks now.
Sometimes you'll just be walking along thinking everything's good because you got that picker out. And what happens? You get another picker. And what does it do? It gets stuck in you. Stuck in the old foot. And since we're talking about...
And I'm assuming this has a word picture to go with tomorrow. Is that what you're...
Yeah. Here comes the picker.
Here comes the picker. Saul's picker.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. I see the word story.
Well, he picked him out once. And
yeah, I just gotta keep picking him out until he picks himself off.
so,
Thank you for joining us.
that's all I got.
That's it. It's alright.
You guys have a wonderful evening.
Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, please feel free to add them, and we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Jimmy's gonna try to turn it off.
Boom.
Nope.
Smart speaker, turn off.